The only thing I can say to you right now is that this feels painful.
Sun cuts through the corner of my window, playing catch. I wonder, do they get tired?
Hello my lovelies, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Luce, and on this week's video we are going to be using my trusty TBR jar to pick all of the books we are hopefully going to be reading in the month of June. I use this jar to pick 8 or 9 prompts, and the prompts in here are prompts from you guys. The jar is full to the brim because we did a refill last month, so I'm very excited to see what we have got in store for us this month. May was amazing, but we'll get to that in my May reading wrap up next week. But for now, we are going to be diving in to June's reads, what's on the cards, what's on the agenda. I actually have got no idea this month. Last month I had an inkling about books I want to read that I hoped would pop up. This month, not a clue. I'm kind of just freestyling it, riding the wave and seeing what you guys end up picking through your prompts. So that being said, grab yourselves a drink, let's get cozy, and let's pick our June TBR. My TBR videos are honestly one of my favourite videos to film. I just feel as though they're so fun. I never really know what to expect or what we have got in store with the jar because there's always a wide array of options and opportunities waiting to be picked. And sometimes we end up getting taken by complete surprise. So, time for our first pick. Let's try and deep dive into the bottom. Oh, there's so many. And see, tell you what, we'll go for this one. This one. Let's start things off strong. Something you've been putting off reading. From @Lauren3Alexis. I see what you guys are doing. You're making me be a responsible adult. You're making me face my problems. Let's go to the TBR cart, see what I've been putting off, because there's a few. There are quite a few options in terms of books I have been putting off, because if there's one thing about me, it's that I love to put my problems off until another day. That's future me's problem, not today's problem. That's my vibe, that's my attitude. So let's have a look. We could definitely go for this. Serious contender. Yeah. There's another one. Ooh. I don't know how I feel about this one. Definitely been putting that off. Okay. Let's go make a decision. Okay, we have got some seriously intimidating options, if I do say so myself. All of these books I have been putting off reading. So let's jump into the how and the why and the where. First up, we've got book 2 in the Mistborn series. Now listen, book 1 I put off for the longest time, the longest book I had on my TBR for quite some time. For good reason. I was both equal parts intimidated and just wasn't sure if I was up to the challenge. Read book 1, loved. What I will say is that when you read book 1, you feel like you can read it as a standalone actually. You read it and you're like, everything wraps up so nicely at the end that it doesn't necessarily push you into wanting to jump and dive into the next books. And I kind of was like patting myself on the back. I was like, girl, we done good. We read the first book. We can take a little break. We can take a little breather until we dive into the next one. So I've been holding off from continuing the series, but I do really want to carry on with the series. So that's an option. Oh, I've been putting this off. Yeah. Boys of Tom in book 5. This is where we're at. This is where we're up to. I finished book 4 and my heart was in absolute tatters. Like absolute ruination was book 4. Joey and Aoife's story lives rent-free in my mind and my heart and my soul. There'll always be a small part of me that is thinking about them in some kind of way, shape or form. This is about Jared and I am scared to death to read this one. Just scared for the whole series, to be quite honest, because I know it's just pain, but also a laugh. Like, it's equal parts laughter and pain, which really just lightens everything up and is essential to what you need. So we could carry on with this series. I feel as though it's been a while since I've been in the Boys of Tom world. Maybe June could be the perfect time to carry on with our journey. Who knows? And we've also got Firstborn of the Sun by Marvelous Michael Anson. Had this on my TBR for a while, so interested and intrigued by this. But I think just because of the size, she's a chunky book. I think she's like, are we at the 700 page mark or something? No, don't be crazy, dudes. Don't be crazy. 550, not too bad actually. Seven Sizes Ballad of Fallen Dragons, and I can do that in a heartbeat. So yeah, we definitely could read this. I don't really know too much about what this is about actually. And I think essentially she learns she's got this power that's different, and it's from a very forbidden, secret kind of land. She essentially has to go and seek sanctuary in this forbidden land away from those who are pursuing them. But soon she learns a secret that could bring this kingdom to its knees. So this does also sound really, really good. Oh, cover is so stunning. These are our three options. I think I'm gonna go for this. Taming 7 is what we're gonna go for. Why not? Let's jump back into the Boys of Tom and World. Let's kickstart June off with this, with heartache and pain, essentially. I guess that's what's on the cards for us. I mean, I did read The Nightingale in May, and I'll be telling you all about that and all my thoughts, but I can confirm it absolutely wrecked and ruined me. So, you know, let's continue a good thing. As if my heart could possibly take any more. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. On the TBR it goes. Time for pick number 2. Maybe something a little bit lighter. Maybe something a bit more easier. Maybe something that I'm really excited about reading. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm excited about reading the ones I've been putting off, but they're not the ones that I'm like mega attracted to, you know? So please be good. Ah, you guys, this is not funny. This is actually not funny. It, like, what kind of time are we wanting to have here in June? But this says a book that's been on your TBR for the longest from @_Lucy's Little Library _ Okay, I really don't want to do this. I love you guys, I love the prompts, but I'm scared. A book that I've been putting off, a book that's been on my TBR the longest, which is also essentially books that I have been putting off. Let's do it though, let's do it, because I love tackling these ones, because it always feels like the biggest reward when you've had a book on your shelf for the longest time and you finally tick it off the list. Let's see what we can find. The only thing I can say to you right now is that this feels painful. Feels painful. You guys are making me face my responsibilities, which I love you for. Okay. I guess we're taking this one back out. Obviously an option. Let me have a think. Before Christmas, this year, Christmas. You could be an option. They've been on my TBR since spooky season, but like I said, saving them for spooky season. Oh, you've been on my TBR for a while. Gonna take these and face the consequences of my actions. Look who it is. Technically, this has probably been on my TBR one of the longest, but we've already started it. So because we've already started it, does it count? Does it now count, or is it new? Do you know what I mean? That doesn't really make any sense, but in my head it makes sense. Or is that just me putting it off still? I don't know. I don't know. I just don't feel like June is the time to carry this on. Do you know? Or we could go for a Girl By Romance, because guys, it's summer. June, sunshine, summer, flirty, fun, a little bit of romance, a little bit of cowboys. Speaking my language, this has been on my TBR for a while actually, and I feel as though this would be the perfect kind of summery romance palette cleanser kind of read. I need a little bit more of this in my life. This is the 3rd book in the series. I really enjoyed book 1 and book 2. Ooh, this one's about Ginger and Cole. It's single dad vibes. In the Chestnut Springs series, Daddy Cade, his book, one of my favorites, so I feel as though we could be in for a really good time. And he's called Cole, so let's see if Cole's gonna give Cade a run for his money, and let's add this onto the June TBR. It's a must. It would be rude not to. Give us a good one. I beg. I love all your prompts, but I need one that feels really nice and fun. Having said that, I've picked some good ones so far. I've picked some good ones. What's this one saying? A book I think will make me laugh. from @coopers.do.things. Okay, this is a really, really fun prompt, a book that I think will make me laugh. Do you know what? There isn't a lot of books I have that make me laugh. I'm quite a hard laugher when it comes to books. In real life, I laugh at everything. When it comes to books, I'm a little bit in my head about things. See what I can find. I actually wish I had more books on my shelf that were laugh-inducing. I really, really do, because obviously you've got fantasy, and you never really know if anything's going to make you laugh, because often they're quite dark, you know, my cup of tea. So then that makes me think we're gonna have to go for a romance, and I hope that it makes us laugh. That's, I think, biggest options. I have got a proof here. This could be funny. And then BK Borison always does make me laugh. Oh, this sounds like a good one. I'm gonna go for these two and hope we've got something funny in here, I think. A book that's gonna make me laugh is quite a tricky thing, because you just never ever truly know. So the first option is Score to Settle. This is by Bella North, and I think this is supposed to be like a sports romance meets cowboy romance, a blend of both of those two combinations. I think I feel my character. She's a journalist, he's an NFL superstar. In high school he broke her heart, now she's supposed to be clearing his image. Their paths cross. Story for a season there. Not entirely sure how the cowboy element comes into it. Yeah, I don't know. Not sure. It doesn't say anything about why it's cowboy in here, but I guess we'd find out if we read it. So Score to Settle is an option. But then we've also got Mixed Signals by BK Borison. This is her summer book from the Love Light Farm series. And this one really grabs me because it says, a bashful man who can rock a Hawaiian shirt all over that, a hopeful and dreamy bakery owner, and enough sweets to give you a cavity and your favourite Inglewood residence. Oh, yeah. I just feel like Layla, who this follows and focuses on, she has the potential to be funny. I think this could be a funny one. I do end up equal parts feeling so connected and emotionally driven with BK's characters that she creates, but then I also do find myself laughing out loud too, because she creates these gorgeous, charismatic and witty, heartfelt kind of moments that you can't help but laugh along with. So if we're gonna go for these, I think I'm gonna go for this one and hope that it makes me laugh. Yeah, Mixed Signals. So far we haven't got a single inkling of fantasy on the list. Now let's try and conjure up some fantasy options, I think. Time for pick number 4. We'll go for this one. A book to match the season. Does that mean I need to go for another romance? Does it? That will mean 4 romances on this month's TBR. Is that insane? That could be kind of crazy. But then also, haven't really been doing a lot of romance this year. In terms of last year, I feel as though I was doing more romance than I was fantasy. This year, it's been heavy on the fantasy side of things. I've been back in my groove, which I've been really enjoying. There is a book that I have on my Kindle that I'm desperate to read, and I feel as though kind of fits the vibe perfectly. So I think I'm gonna go for Every Summer After by Carly Fortune. Few reasons why. Number one, it's been made into a TV series which is coming out this month, literally in June. We are getting the series of this. I'd love to read the book first, and also I have a physical copy of One Golden Summer that I've had and wanted to read for a really long time, but all my friends say that you have to read them in order if you want to have the best possible experience, and obviously I do. So I feel as though this could be the perfect time to read Every Summer After. It also matches the current season perfectly, I think, I hope. As far as I'm aware, this is set in a place called Barry's Bay. And the concept is 6 summers to fall in love, 1 moment to fall apart, and 1 weekend to get it right. And I think it's told from past and present, so you're going back to 6 summers ago into the present of this 1 weekend, which is make or break. And I think it's going to be a little bit of a second chance romance situation. And I am very, very excited. I'm so excited for this, actually. I feel as though it's going to be amazing, and I can't wait to read it and then watch the series after. Next pick is going to be this one. And it says, a book you received as PR from Erin's reading room. Okay, this is exciting because there's a few options. Let me go to my TBR pile, see what we've got. There's some good options for this one. Now, we could do a little bit of an overlap because this entire stack, apart from Kiss for Iron, was PR, and some of them I didn't get around to reading this month, which we could maybe add one of those to the pile. In particular, this one, I think. Oh, we could also go for this one. And then I also have got a couple of new options that I am going to show you guys and talk to you about. We got quite a little stack for this one. I really have been wanting to get around to reading Stormbreaker by Nisha J. Tully. I just ended up being completely consumed by The Ballad of Fallen Dragons in May. It took over my entire life. Therefore, I didn't end up reading some of the ones I was really excited about. This was one of them that I was gutted that I didn't get around to reading. So this could definitely be an option. Dystopian, got really good feeling about that one, actually. One that's been on my TBR for quite a while now, actually, is A Stage Set for Villains. This would be really nice with the mix of books we've got at the moment. This would be really, really different. It mixes acting with fantasy. Apparently the ending is so shocking, like so shocking. Makes me excited. This could be a contender. And then some recent PR stuff that I've received. We've got Legendborn. I've wanted to start this series and read this series forever. Now I have all 3 books in my possession, and I feel as though I have been missing out and not reading this. I've had FOMO, and summer feels like this is the perfect time to get lost in a new series I'm gonna love and completely inhale and enjoy. This one's all about a secret society, the Legendborn, and they hunt creatures down. And there is this mysterious mage called Merlin, and he attempts to wipe out FMC's memory and mind of every single thing she's witnessed and seen of all of these incriminating kind of things. That's about as much as I know. I think it's a YA series, it's obviously fantasy, and I think it's going to be absolutely incredible. And then another option is Tempest by Victoria Aveyard. This comes out in September this year, and I think it's this epic kind of adventure of love, of betrayal. There is this war happening on the high seas, so it's giving pirates, which is also giving summer. No? Is it not? That's a very good point, actually, this. Probably between these two, and probably pirates. This is making it onto my June TBR. Option number 6, pick number 6 is gonna be this. It's a long one. Use one of the options not selected in the previous prompt. From @Leanne_N_Classic. Great prompt. Great prompt. It's gonna be one of you guys. I really want to read this one, Stormbreaker. I really want to read this because I didn't get to read it in May. So would it be okay if I choose that? Would you guys mind if there was an overlap in this month and we go for Stormbreaker? I need to read it. It's calling to me, it's speaking to my soul. So I think it would only be fair that we add this to the mix of books. And also, we're having a really nice assortment and variety of reads so far. A little bit of everything, all bases covered. The lineup's looking good, and this just only makes it look even better. Straight on to the next one. Let's go for this. See what we're gonna end up choosing. A book with an animal on the cover from @LawRaw. Ooh, okay. Let's go see what we got. Okay, book with an animal on the cover. Nope. 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 Looks like Dawn of the North's gonna be a contender. That's a contender. Nope. Nope. Touch of Darkness. No. We have got 2 options. Okay. 2 Options for books with animals on the front. We've got The Swan's Daughter with this gorgeous swan on the cover by Roshani Chokshi. This was supposed to be read a few months ago, didn't actually end up getting around to reading it, so this could be a contender. And again, same with Dawn of the North. Really have been wanting to read this but just haven't got around to it, and also on a previous month's TBR this year. So both of these ones that I never got around to but always wanted to. I especially really want to get around to this. We have got a gorgeous horse on here. We've got a wolf. I absolutely live, eat and breathe for the Red of Bone series by Demi Winters. It's Viking romantasy and it is all of the kisses for this series. I love it so much. So out of these two, the one I am most inclined to pick up and read is going to be Dawn of the North. 110%. Time for our 8th pick. Yeah, let's go for this one. Pull 2 prompts and pick a book that fits both. From @mycutelilfinster. Amazing pick. I love that. So let's see what the first one's going to be. This one. A book that was recommended to you from @Erin's Reading Room is the first one. And then the second pick for this one, I've got 2 there. Let's go for this. It's gonna be this. So this one says, a book that you think would make a good movie from @LittleDoseOfRandomness. So a book that I think would make a good movie and a book that was recommended to you. Let me go to my shelf and see what fits both of these. Love this combination. Dreamy. Okay, so books that have been recommended to me that would also make a really good movie. Obviously just going on hopes. I hope it would make a good movie based on the concept, on what it sounds like. Silver Cloak could be a really good option. I have been recommended this a lot. Love L.K. Stephen. The whole concept of this is essentially set in a world where magic is based on pain versus pleasure. That's the concept. Fairy-dale, I actually think would make an incredible movie based on the concept. Dark, gothic, and I get recommended this all the time and I think I'm gonna love it, but I am saving that for spooky season. So not today. We're setting for that. Essentially this shelf is like primarily spooky season kind of vibes actually. Terror at the Gates apparently is very sexy, very seductive. I really want to read this. Like really want to read this. Let's decide between these two, I think. I have wanted to read these for a really, really long time. So they've been on my agenda and I've been on the lookout for them for quite a while. Obviously they've now both out in paperbacks. I ran to pick these up. The magic concept of this I think would be really interesting to see portrayed in a movie. Really enjoyed Our Infinite Fates and I'm kind of interested to see how she takes this concept on and into this world and what it looks like and whether I enjoy it. And Turncoat I think is going to be coming out soon, so I'm thinking this could be the perfect kind of time to read. This one is set in the city of Eden, which is devoted to sin. Follows our FMC Lilith. She's estranged from this powerful family. She essentially steals for a living. That's what she does, and she manages to acquire this weapon, this blade if you like, and it's all sunshine and roses until when she tries to sell it, the buyer ends up passing away whilst he's inspecting the blade. She ends up turning to Zahariev for help. His currency is information. He thinks information is power. He says he's gonna help her. They embark out on this mission. Story proceeds from there. It's supposed to be really bloody good and very sexy. So very torn between these two, but I think the one that I've been recommended the most is Silver Cloak, and I do think it would make a really good movie if it's as good as I think it's gonna be. So let's see what kind of time we have with this one, but on the June TBR goes. Finally, last but by no means least, let's try and finish on a high if we can. I feel like, I have not cut this out very well, this one. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go for the top one and then I'm gonna cut it up and then put the other one in the jar, and we can pick that out another time. So we'll go for this one as the most recommended book from @readwith.bex. I think I know exactly what I'm going to choose for this. I've been holding off a little bit on reading this because I wanted to wait for the perfect time. Now feels like the perfect time. So let me just quickly grab it off my shelf and show you what we are going to be wrapping up June's TBR with. The book that I get recommended the most currently at the moment that is actually on my TBR is The Second Death of Locke by V.L. Bovalino. I have constant recommendations of this book all the time, and it's supposed to be perfect if you're a fan of The Night in the Moss. It's giving Lady Night vibes, and I've heard nothing but the very best things. When I was compiling a list of options for my Paper Dreams book club over on Fable, this was one of the options. It was one of the options. We actually had a bit of a tiebreaker situation between this and Every Summer After. Two of them were neck and neck, and when the poll finished, both of them, not an inch between them. So then we had to do a little tiebreaker poll, and again, over the hours, it was back and forth, neck and neck, but eventually, Second Death of Locke was the one that ended up winning. So this is also gonna be our book club pick, so I feel as though this is the perfect way to end the TBR for June, and I'm very excited to read and see what I think. I have high hopes, but also after reading The Everlasting and not quite enjoying that as much as I wanted to, I'm a little bit nervous, a little bit scared. But this is going to be the final book for June, and I could not be more excited to see what kind of time we have. And that's a wrap on our June TBR. This is what our June TBR has shaped up to look like. Oh my goodness, what an incredible combination and assortment of reads. I feel as though this is the perfect kind of TBR to get me out of my grief and mourning that The Ballad of Fallen Dragons is now over. You know, I need something that's gonna really just keep the pace, keep the momentum going, and just not let me slump. That's what we need. We need some good, quick, fast, amazing reads, and I feel as though there's a lot of hopeful potentials that are gonna cover those bases. So very excited to see how we get on in June. A mixed bag, here for that kind of energy. But that is everything for this week's video. Thank you so much as always for watching. Hope you have an incredible start to June. Hope it's amazing. I hope it's really good for you, and you guys know the drill. I will see you next week for a new video.